Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A TikTok trend that's led to Hyundais and Kias getting stolen. Tonight, how that trend could affect how much you pay for car insurance, even if you don't drive either of those cars.
It's a property problem that just won't go away. Why a local church says squatters could get in the way of their Easter plans this Sunday. But first, we're going to begin with the weather. We have had tons of rain activity in our viewing area today.
Right, our meteorologist Adam Caskey standing by. So Adam, what does this holiday weekend look like?
Well, we're going to dry out gradually as we go through the day tomorrow. We still have a little bit of activity on the radar screen. We're talking far northwest of San Antonio, north of Kerrville and approaching Fredericksburg in Gillespie County, where we have some showers and even a bit of thunder and lightning with that. So light thunder shower. But locally, you don't really see anything on the radar. However, it's still very damp out there. Live cam often has little droplets on the lens, and you see the wet roadways, and even the airport, see that icon there reporting that drizzle and light sprinkle activity. 54 degrees right now, and temperatures aren't going to change much the rest of the night. We'll start with a damp morning tomorrow, talk about how things are going to improve for Easter festivities coming right up.
Adam, thank you. The trend that made certain cars a target for thieves is likely affecting your wallet, and that's even if you don't own a Kia or a Hyundai.
Now, if you do, the situation may actually be worse. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas explains how a social media trend is driving insurance rates.
I feel violated.
Frustration over a fad. Hyundais and Kias are being reported stolen all over San Antonio and across the U.S.
It's a TikTok trend going on right now.
The so-called TikTok challenge that's taught people how to steal those cars has caught the attention of car insurers. Rich Johnson with the Insurance Council of Texas says some agencies refuse to provide coverage for them.
If you already had a vehicle, the insurance company wasn't dropping you. But if you were going to be one of their new customers, you come on, you had one of those vehicles, they weren't going to cover that vehicle because of the ease of stealing it.
Officials with State Farm say they have temporarily stopped accepting new customer applications in some states, adding theft losses for these vehicles have increased dramatically. This is a serious problem impacting customers and the entire auto insurance industry.
I've been in, the insurance industry for the better part of a decade, and I can't recall any time where companies, were refusing to insure what we would call average consumer vehicles.
But the bad news goes beyond those trying to get insurance. Hyundai and Kia owners who already have a policy are now paying more, and the increase in theft is boosting rates across the board.
There are communal factors that you look at are cars being stolen in your area? Are there a lot of thefts in your area or your state, your county?
Texas leads the country in car theft claims at USAA. The insurance company tells us those claims are up 8% since 2021 and continue to rise month to month. Johnson has this advice to drivers.
Look at other companies and look for discounts that you might be eligible for.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, you heard all that, but there is some good news tonight for Kia and Hyundai owners. Both companies are offering a software update to stop thieves from trying what they've been seeing online. So here's what you do. Just call your local dealership and schedule an appointment, and they'll figure it out.
An update to a story we brought you last night on the Nightbeat. San Antonio police thought they had the suspect in a deadly shooting surrounded. More than 12 hours of a standoff ended up being for nothing, though. That standoff started around 9:45 last night on the south side on Humboldt Street, not far from I-35 and West South Cross. Officers say the suspect they believed was inside connected to this shooting nearby that left a 33-year-old woman dead at a nearby gas station. Around 11:30 this morning, police entered the home at the center of the standoff and found no one inside. Tonight, police are still looking for that suspect. Of course, we're following this story closely as well. We'll bring you any new information that comes into our newsroom.
New tonight on the Nightbeat, one person just lost their apartment because of a fire. Happened around 5:30 this afternoon at a complex on the northwest side near I-10 and Woodstone Drive. Crews say the fire started on the first floor of that building. Nobody was home at the time. Nobody got hurt. Right now, it's not clear, though, what sparked those flames.
Remembering a lost loved one, friends and family gathering tonight for the balloon release that you see behind us.
So this happened at Copernicus Park for a local coach who was gunned down at an apartment complex. Donald Townsend was shot in the chest last month during a fight at a West Side apartment on Lombrano Street, and Townsend died at that scene. Tonight, those who continue to mourn his loss say that he was beloved by everybody who knew him.
He
he took everybody's kids and family in like they were his own. Man, that's just a great guy, man. There's nothing better than have known and been able to be in the presence of him.
Today's event was actually held on Townsend's birthday. He would have been 31 years of age. A pastor claims they were stealing electricity and water, and now a problem property could put a damper on one church's Easter plans. Safety concerns at Temple Missionary Baptist Church have prompted a county commissioner to step in. Night Team's Patty Santos tells us how the county is working to help neighbors now with nuisance properties.
The safety of the kids are my prime concern.
Weeks after KSAT reported on this east side nuisance property and the squatters living inside, the church next door says the issues are far from over.
They've been jumping the fence, going across to the house directly behind the church.
On March 21st, the city's dangerous assessment response team showed up to clear off the property on Morning View Drive.
It stopped for a day or two, and now we have new neighbors. Some of the other residents from that house are still there and setting up camp. There's more activity going on than it was before.
Temple Missionary Baptist Youth Director Rhonda Lampkin is reluctant to take the kids out for their Easter egg hunt this weekend. But Commissioner Tommy Calvert says he'll be there for support.
Excited to have the sheriff join me there on Sunday for worship services so that the children can be safe.
Calvert says he's embarrassed by the county's lack of speedy action to resolve the reported concerns. He's formed a task force that includes the district attorney's office, city attorneys, and county manager to do a better job of dealing with nuisance properties moving forward.
There aren't a whole lot of these properties, but if the city is telling me that they have 10 problem properties a year, we should be working towards within the next quarter, quite frankly, the next 4 months, not having that problem.
One possible solution in the works is transferring those properties to nonprofits who would build affordable housing.
So we're going to be doing stronger assessments of the county as to which properties are held in trust.
And tonight, the county is working to update its policies to determine who would keep tabs on these vacant properties. The next task force meeting is in a couple of weeks. Live tonight, Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Patty, thank you. And now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. 3 migrants found dead among 24 who were trapped inside multiple train cars in Del Rio. That's according to Border Patrol. In a Facebook post, authorities said they got a 911 call about people trapped inside the cars. And officials say that of the 24, 15 of them were in, quote, serious need of medical condition. And this comes after 2 separate but similar rescues happened last month in Eagle Pass and also Kinnipa. Now, 3 people were rescued from rising water in downtown Houston after heavy rainstorms. The people were sleeping underneath a bridge when they just got trapped. Fire department crews used a tower ladder to help them get out of the water, and everybody there climbed to safety. A San Marcos area man may be going to jail for a long time after he pleaded guilty to setting an Austin synagogue on fire. That was back in 2021. Austin firefighters put out that fire. Nobody was hurt. Prosecutors say that 20-year-old Franklin Sicrius later said that he targeted the synagogue because he hated Jewish people. Sicrius is going to be sentenced June 23rd, and he faces up to 20 years in prison. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Happening tomorrow, a free landfill day for anyone who lives in San Antonio. An opportunity to finally get rid of that old couch or maybe a mattress. Right now on KSAT.com, everything you need to know, including when and where you can take your unwanted objects, furniture, etc., and what you'll need to bring with you. Just look for this story on our website.
It's one of the most common forms of abortion in the United States. Why a federal judge in Texas has voted to reverse the approval of a medication abortion pill.
Easter weekend campers sticking it out despite the cold and rain, but will they be in store for more rain? Adam has your holiday weekend forecast.
A Texas federal judge has ruled to suspend the abortion drug mifepristone. Regulators approved that pill 23 years ago. It's now the most common abortion method in the country. ABC's Melissa Adan has the developing details.
In an unprecedented move, a federal Texas judge ruling to reverse the FDA approval of mifepristone, a medication abortion pill. The ruling is paused for 7 days so the federal government may appeal. U.S. District Judge Matthew Kaczmarek, who made this ruling, is a Trump appointee. He held a hearing on the issue on March 15th in Amarillo, Texas, where the conservative plaintiffs in the case argued the FDA was wrong to approve mifepristone in the first place. Meantime, a Washington state judge issued a dueling injunction in a separate case regarding the status of the FDA's approval of the abortion pill. In his ruling, Judge Thomas Rice mandates that the FDA keep the status quo when it comes to regulating the drug. The vice president weighing in on the judge's ruling following a speech in Nashville, Tennessee.
It is contrary to what makes for good public health policy to allow courts and politicians to tell the FDA what it should do. This is a drug that the FDA approved as safe 20 years ago and has been proven to be safe for 20 years. So this is a dangerous precedent.
In these next 7 days, all eyes will be on the Fifth Circuit, the nation's most conservative appeals court, to see if they uphold the Texas ruling overturning the FDA's approval of this abortion pill. Now, if these two federal orders, the Texas and the Washington one, remain in conflict, the issue will likely be expedited to go before the Supreme Court. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A San Antonio tradition playing out on the streets of San Antonio on Good Friday, the Passion Play. Ahead of Easter Sunday, it recreates the trial and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. It's happened every year here since 1983, and every year since then, thousands of spectators have lined the streets. Today was no different, despite the cold and the rain.
There's no way we weren't going to come. Like, I wanted to experience this. My walk with God started 2 years ago, so it's still kind of all new to me as well. So just getting to experience this with my family, just we couldn't miss it.
This is something that I cherish doing every year, and so it's incredible that he was able to come with me this year.
If you missed the Passion Play, you can watch a recap right now on KSAT.com.
We grew up doing it with my grandma when we were little, and then I started with my kids. Little rain's not going to dampen. It's a good party. Not the first time it's rained.
That is what you call a dedicated camper. That was Rosie Alejandro at Brackenridge Park. The rain did not deter her family from Easter camping this holiday weekend. As you know, the curfew at public parks was lifted last night. We stopped by Brackenridge this morning, where Rosie was just arriving to restock her family with towels, an extra tent, and of course, that charcoal for an Easter barbecue.
Gotta have that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm hoping the campers have been through the worst of it as we take a live cam shot right now. 53 degrees out there. Adam, are the heavy rains done?
Yeah, the heavy rain's done, but we're still going to be dealing with dampness for the rest of the night. And tomorrow night is going to be much drier. I mean, we're not going to have all this dampness to deal with. Let's start off with a look at our rainfall chances for the rest of the night and into tomorrow. Notice that isolated to scattered activity, some very light showers coming and going, but mixed in between will be some drizzle as well. That's why we're just wording it as that general dampness that's going to continue. That's until about 11 a.m. tomorrow, when the rain chances completely fall off and we'll see a few breaks in the clouds later in the day. Here's a look at some of the rainfall totals. This is down at Falls City. This is in a swath of accumulations that were some of the highest, and this was 9 inches, so 5 inches at one point emptied the rain gauge, and another 4 there. It's on the west side of town, about 1 inch, and 2 inches here near Comanche Park. So we saw, as usual, varying amounts of accumulations, but you look at the radar estimates over the past 3 days, and this purple indicates that alleyway, that bullseye of the heaviest rainfall and the highest accumulations. And that photo from Falls City really is ground truth to these radar estimates. I mean, we're talking between 6 and even 10 inches of rain estimated by the Doppler radar here. This isn't actual measurements, but estimates. But you look at Falls City area, 7.5, right? And a guy nearby had 9 inches, so this 10.4 is probably pretty accurate here, just southwest of Falls City. That's where really the bullseye was. Locally, we had varying amounts. Stone Oak about 2.9 inches. That stretches all the way down into Hollywood Park. Downtown 1.55 inches. And you get farther to the north, Bulverde about 1.5. Canyon Lake a little over 2 inches. And here's another way to look at it. This is the drought monitor, which does not take into account the rainfall that we recently had. And I know this is playing very fast, but this is more than a day's worth of radar data, and we don't have all night here. So I'm going to play it pretty quickly, but at least we're seeing that we saw those passing showers over drought-stricken parts of South Texas. Not enough to really trim down the drought here throughout Bandera, Kerr, and even Kendall counties, but there will be a slight improvement, and at least a decent amount of rain fell over the aquifer recharge zone. Right now we're at 54. Very light rain reported at the airport. Still, you can see the roadway here. You can see I-10. It's just damp. Temperatures, 50s. One exception, Del Rio at 62. But we're 50s elsewhere, mid-50s. 55 Rio Medina, 54 in Converse, and 56 at Stinson Airport. And tomorrow morning we'll wake up to 50 degrees. So not much of a temperature drop. Drizzly, a few sprinkles, a little bit of fog, damp, and then we'll start to see breaks in the clouds by the noon hour and especially into the afternoon. Don't expect a lot of sunshine tomorrow, but we will gradually dry out and see a bit of sun. 68 for the high temperature. We've been in the 50s straight for 2 days now. We'll get back into the upper 60s tomorrow, and even some low 70s in some locations. We'll make it into the low 70s, depending on how much sun you get. Then by Easter Sunday, 55 in the morning, 73 in the afternoon. Beautiful Easter. Low humidity. Really one of those Easters where you'll be comfortable wearing whatever you want to wear because of the lack of mugginess, and we'll have a decent amount of cloud cover with some breaks periodically in those clouds. And just think how green and lush everything is going to be once that sun comes back out. But by the way, we have another round of rain possible, just some scattered areas of showers and non-severe storms Monday. Otherwise, sunny next week and mostly in the 70s.
Adam's making a Easter brisket.
That's right.
Do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Save some.
Yeah.
There's there's going to be none left over.
Larry's
Speaking
like,
of, this is one of those times when the weather intersects with sports. I mean, what was happening at the Masters with the 3 trees fell?
3 trees. Reportedly, these pine trees are about 100 feet tall, and they're blaming it on the high winds and the very wet ground out at Augusta due to a lot of rain. So these trees fell. Luckily, no one was hurt. We hear from a golfer playing at his first Masters who was near the incident. Plus, Keldon did not let a bout of food poisoning slow him down. Coming up.
Oh, good gracious. Watch out.
Oh, my
God.
word.
I hope everybody is okay.
It was a wild day at the Masters due to bad weather and trees falling in big board sports. The I-35 series is off to a good start for the Spurs. Last night they beat the Trailblazers 129-127 at the Moody Center in Austin in front of 16,023 fans, a sellout crowd. Zach Collins showed out with a double-double, 21 points and 10 rebounds. Keldon Johnson scored 24. Julian Champagnie had 24 big points off of the bench. Trey Jones had his own double-double, 18 points and 10 assists, and KBD led the charge with 25. Now Portland led by 9 with 5:30 to go in the game, and that's when the Spurs D'd up and they made threes to win. Now, earlier at 6, Keldon Johnson told us last night during post that he thinks he was dealing with food poisoning Wednesday night, and that caused him to miss Thursday morning shoot-around. Come game time, he felt better, so he played on. Now, Keldon, who spent time with the G League Spurs during his rookie season, went back and forth on I-35 many times and was asked if Buc-ee's was his normal stop.
That was definitely the spot. I feel like it was me, Luka, and Q, my rookie class, and that was a mandatory stop every time, unless we was running behind, and we had to go on through. But
so this was out of the usual for Buc-ee's to have given you a bad experience.
Yeah, Buc-ee's always good. I'm not supposed to be eating Buc-ee's, but it tastes good, really good. Like probably like a 10 out of 10, but my stomach ain't agree with it this time. But
that's gonna get you a Buc-ee's endorsement or not.
I'm gonna go back. Hold on, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Oh man, I'm gonna go back. You know what I'm saying? I love Buc-ee's.
He can't quit Buc-ee's. Awesome. Spurs will host the Timberwolves 3 p.m. tomorrow at the Moody Center. It's a packed house at Comalander Stadium where the Lee boys soccer team faced Brownsville Rivera in the UIL Class 6A regional semifinal. Vols down 1-0 early second half. The centering pass deflects off a defender's hand in the box. The Vols get a penalty kick for the handball, and Jesus Blanco drives a shot past the keeper to equalize 1-1. That was the score at the end of regulation, so we go to overtime. Final minute of the second OT period. Brownsville Cesar Garza gets taken down in the box, drawing a penalty, and Garza steps to the line and makes his PK to put the Raiders on top 2-1 with 55 seconds to go, and that's your final. Lee falls 2-1 in overtime.
Can't really do anything at the end to come back from that, and there's a minute left, and unfortunately, ref took it out of our hands, and I thought the boys played hard. It just wasn't our night.
Lee finished their season with a 23-1-3 overall record. 3 towering pine trees at Augusta National crashed down on the course today during second-round play at the Masters. Luckily, no one was hurt, and play was immediately stopped right after that. The pine trees fell about 10 to 15 yards ahead of the left side of the 17th tee box, sending those in the area scattering for cover.
Right before the horn blew is when I heard the tree fall down. We were cresting the fairway on 15 coming up over the hill and heard it, and we're like, what is that? We thought it was like a scoreboard or a grandstand, or we were just hoping it wasn't anything that would hit anybody. And yeah, that was crazy though.
That was wild. Now, Brooks Koepka entered the second round tied for the lead at 7 under par, and today he opened up some breathing room, shooting a 567. He had 3 birdies and an eagle on the par 5 8th hole. So the second round will resume tomorrow. Amateur Sam Bennett is third at 8 under, just 4 shots behind Brooks. Tiger Woods is +2 through 11 holes. The projected cut is 3 over. 210 Bam weighed in today after the break.
And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Jesse Bam Rodriguez. 111.4 for the undefeated Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
210 Bam will fight Christian Gonzalez tomorrow night for the vacant WBO flyweight title here in San Antonio. Bam weighed in at 111.4 pounds, and his opponent came in at 112 pounds, the flyweight limit. Bam is fighting as a pro in San Antonio for the 4th time, and he's looking to make history.
Most importantly, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back in the ring, doing what I love to do. Come Saturday night, I'm gonna put on a show like I always do. Come Saturday, I have the opportunity to become San Antonio's first 2-division champ, so it'll make that moment that much more special. So I'm really excited to show out.
Jesse Bam Rodriguez will face Christian Gonzalez tomorrow night for the vacant WBO flyweight title at Boeing Center at Techport. And the San Antonio Missions won at the Tulsa Drillers 2-0 tonight, improving to 1-1. The Missions carried a combined no-hitter into the 8th inning.
Who is this Bam Rodriguez?
I know, 210 Bam.
Yep. 210 Bam. Bam. Thank you.
You like his, yeah, all right, cool. We'll be right back.
All right, before we go, check this out. It is the world's biggest bounce house, or as I call them, bouncy houses.
Right.
It's coming back to the San Antonio area as well.
Okay, so listen to how big it is. It covers a whopping 16,000 square feet. What? It's also got basketball hoops, giant slides, oversized couches. You can find that bounce house in Helotes.
Yeah, much more information about when, where, how much it'll cost you to enjoy the giant bouncy house. Just look for this story on KSAT.com. Adam.
I'm with you, Steve. It's a bouncy house.
Yeah, bouncy house.
Bouncy house.
Bounce house?
Bounce house. What kind of wind can it withstand, though? I hope they anchor it down, because that's like one big sail.
Did I ever tell you that I had a friend that we had a bounce house for one of my daughters?
A what house?
Bouncy house.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he got in there and jumped around.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't anchored at all, so he jumped up against one of the walls and just like fell over on top of him. It was kind of funny.
Classic.
No. He was fine.
He was fine, exactly. Oh, that's classic. I thought it was going to be he popped it, but that's even better.
That would have been better, yeah.
68 tomorrow. A little bit of sun from time to time this weekend, but overall comfortable. And look at the lack of humidity in the air for really the next about 7 days. You're not going to notice any mugginess, but we'll have enough moisture to create a few scattered showers by Monday.
Also, before we go, wish happy birthday to this guy.
What?
Thank
you.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Well, that
Happy
does it for us.
birthday.
Don't forget that Good Morning San Antonio starts at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Have a great weekend.